Like I've got a few belts a couple of belts on the mantelpiece there, and I want some more.
Before we watch the video, we just wanted to ask you a massive favour.
We just wanted to ask you if you could please take a minute to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and also check out our TikTok for short content and daily updates.
We really want to keep growing the Boxing 365 community and keep making content like this for yourselves, the boxing fan.
And most of all, thank you and enjoy the video. Welcome back to everyone to Boxing 365. We're joined by Jack Bateson today. Again, second interview now, becoming a loyal visitor to the channel. Today's a special feature, so no podcast attached to it, just a chat with Jack. So, Jack, welcome back. How's the foot?
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me on again, lads. And the foot, the ankle / bloody leg is a pain in the ass. And getting about the house in these crutches, mate, is an absolute nightmare. I'm in a cast, so yeah, life's a pain in the ass. I'm stuck in the house, but it is what it is, and hopefully, it won't be long till I'm recovered and I'm back to work.
You said to me, you're hoping to be back out sort of early, sort of back end of the first quarter of next year. Have they given you an idea
Yeah.
of when you're going to be in the gym?
No, I'm off to see the guys at the hospital on Monday for a
Yep.
check-in. I'm hopefully going to be out the cast on Monday and into a boot, so I can start putting steady pressure on it. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm hoping to be steady pressure, like in terms of walking. And then in about 4 weeks, I should be out of the cast. So obviously, I won't be doing bloody marathons and whatnot, but I'll be back, staying active, steady training, and it'd be nice to get out again, like you say, back end of the first quarter of the year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And is the wife fed up having you at home yet?
Certainly, certainly. I think she wished I'd be back doing camp mode stuff already now, but it's hard work, especially with me being bloody just. I'm a cripple. She's just, she was probably looking forward to having me help out at home with new kid that's just arrived or new
Yeah.
baby, and
Yeah, Sky, isn't it, off memory?
now Sky, and now she's got 3 kids to look after, including myself. So yeah, it's bad news.
Yeah, she's working overtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, obviously, Jack, you picked up your injury in your last
Mm.
fight. We talked about that going in the last interview, and just wanted to see what you made of the fight. Obviously, the way it ended was obviously disappointing for yourself. But what did you make of it? What did you find of
You know
Conlan?
what? It's killing me now because I was comfortable in there. The plan always going into this fight was the first half of the fight, just sort of coast it, not really up too much. We know he's a fast starter. Keep things close and then start to pick it up. I know he's not the best late on in fights, and it's so annoying because I felt so comfortable in there. I never really got going. Didn't really warm into it in the corner. I wasn't really breathing heavy and nothing like that. And he caught with a beauty of a shot. I think it was mainly southpaw, so I think I must have got used to being southpaw a lot. He turned off lots. I didn't even see the shot coming. It didn't feel like a heavy shot, but I think because I didn't see it and I didn't see it coming, it's put me down. It's put me down in a bad way, but I jumped straight back up. My head was clear and everything like that. But yeah, tried hopping on my ankle and realised it was gone. So it's very unfortunate, but it's boxing and I can't. What's the saying? I can't cry over spilt milk, and I've just got to move on. But it's killing me because I know that opportunity will be the biggest opportunity that I'll probably ever get.
No, no, Jack. I don't think. I'll be honest. Like, I'm a big believer in. I think in that fight, we were watching it and we became a little bit biased because we joined the Bateson fan club.
Yeah,
However, we watched it and we saw you
guys.
when you got up. We thought, you know what,
Yeah,
his head
good.
looks clear, and then as you went to take that first step, we were the same as you. Well, not quite the same, but we went, yeah, his ankle's gone here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair for you to. I mean, it's up to you, but I think there's other opportunities out there. You're a big enough name. Get a couple of wins under your belt. There's opportunities out there. Whether that be in and around that same weight class, you've got people like Lee Wood, for example, who's a similar weight to yourself, who's needing opponents coming off the back of the Kakachi fight. I don't know whether you ever would, but you've got Josh Warrington again. You've got an all leads clash there, and whether these fights ever get discussed, but there's big fights for you, and I think I wouldn't rub off your name from them big sheets just yet. I don't think.
No, I think they're definitely out there, but I just don't want to be like I was already. I was quite quiet in terms of getting any opportunities. There was nothing really coming my way, and obviously I've had the 2 losses now. Although they're at top level, I just don't want to become part of that who needs him club. You know what I mean? It's like sort of high risk and low reward sort of thing. But it's you know what? I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I just hope the opportunities do still come. And I don't really want to be, I think, go back down to building myself right back. I want to get straight back into good fights because, you know, I'm 23 fights deep. Every camp, no matter who you're fighting, it takes a lot out of you. So I do want to get straight back into big fights. But listen, I'm with the best management team in the business in terms of Lee and alongside my old man, and I know that if any opportunities can be had, it'll be with these guys. So let's see what happens. And I'm first things first, get recovered, and then we can start making a plan on what's next.
Yeah, I think your health has to come first, don't it?
Yeah, actually one of the things I was going to ask Jack is obviously you are waiting on your recovery now, and obviously you have got new little one to think about as well. But have you started to think ahead at all yet? Have you got anybody who you would like in mind, or just taking that bit of time at the minute?
Yeah, at the minute I'm just sort of taking that time. Obviously, a no-brainer. First thing that comes to my mind is obviously if the Danny Quartermain fight for his belts, whether he's still got them or not, I do not know. He's probably been stripped of them because he's been that inactive.
Yeah, I think the IBF probably will have done.
Yeah, I think it's 6 months you've got to defend him in, and it's been well over that. So he's probably been stripped, but if it made sense, I'd love to fight him and you know beat him. But just with our history, but then other than that, I would only want to be involved in either big fights or fights with titles that are going to get me opportunities again because. I don't want boxing to end in a few years, and like I've got a couple of belts on the mantelpiece there, and I want some more.
I think for me, following on from that, and Dan, you'll find that Dan's quite structured. He knows what he needs. He knows what he wants to ask. He knows how I want to get there. I'll just go off tangent, but coming back to what you said about your career and obviously wanting them big opportunities, one of the boxers I've followed all his career, and he was in a similar spot to you, getting to that point where it's the Who Needs Me club. And I mentioned him earlier, is local to us, but Lee Wood, and he lost a couple of times. He was in the sort of he'd lost a couple of British title scraps. People kind of went, well, where is he? And one opportunity late notice came against UCAN for the WBA regular title. I think it was a Matchroom. It's when they were doing it at the.
It was the lockdown one.
Yeah, it was. It was Fight Camp. That's it.
Yeah, it was Fight Camp. That was it. Matchroom one.
Yeah, and he went on and won that, and people went, "Oh, okay, that's a really good win." And then he fought Conlan, which obviously was one of the fights of the year. And his career just sort of rolled into this momentum, and he's now and no one would have ever guessed it, Lee included, but he's now a 2-time featherweight champion. And
yeah, it does happen, doesn't it?
It does happen, and I just think that I know you'll carry on being professional, but I think it's important that you sort of obtain that mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. I need to stay positive and like you say, first of all recover. But I do think, like you say, it can happen, and I just need to keep believing and believe that it will happen. Hopefully.
Yeah, there's loads of examples, isn't there? There's loads. So when you've got your boot on, we'll move away from boxing very briefly. Now you've got your boot on, you're stuck at home, you're the third baby in the Bateson household.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your day? Is it Xbox, PlayStation? Are you playing chess, Monopoly?
No, it's none of the above. Literally, I'm out here reading a few books to my eldest daughter Sienna.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm not much help as it is in terms of doing any of the cleaning this and that. So most of the time, being straight with you, I'm sat on my ass watching a bit of TV, whether it's a few just shit shows on TV, and yeah, trying my best not to hop along to the fridge and the cupboard to fucking eat food. I don't want to be moving up to bloody lightweight, do I? So
If you spend the next 6 months eating, it might be further than lightweight. I don't think you'd make a very good fucking
Oh,
cruiserweight, Jack, to be fair.
I know. I've only just got back down to featherweight, and I need to stay there now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So back to boxing, I think you spent the time with Michael. You said that Mick was when you watched him previously. You remember thinking how special he was as a fighter. You've spent that
Mhm.
time with him. Obviously, unfortunately, due to circumstances out of your control, lost that one. Where do you think Where do you think Mick goes next? Do you think he gets another world title shot? Is he good enough? Do you think? Is he? We've got our
Um,
opinion, but we're trying to stay impartial.
yeah. I'd love it. I'd love him to go on and win a world title, because it makes me look a little bit better. But I don't. I can't see it, to be honest with you. Like I say, I'd love him to. I think a good matchup for him next. I know they talk about the Lee Wood. They're talking about this now. Either the Lee Wood rematch or the Warrington fight.
Yeah, we
Um,
posted that, didn't we?
yeah, and I think the one that's the most likely is the Warrington fight. Although I did see an interview yesterday with Mick saying that the offer he got was laughable, um, but I just don't know what other direction either of them really go. So I think they might have to just take the risk if they both believe they can win. Um, Jump in, but I can't see the Lee Wood fight happening. I don't know what you guys think with you guys obviously knowing.
I think the thing is with Lee, and purely in the interest of transparency, we do try and be as honest as we can.
Hmm.
Lee did exactly what you were talking about there, and that is that unfortunately he priced himself out of a couple of fights towards the end of his matchroom contract.
Yeah,
Made him impossible to match. He turned away good money to fight at Nottingham against Warrington in the rematch. Ended up as a free agent, which meant now he's had nearly 2 years of, other than the Kakachi fight, 2 years of inactivity. And the
yeah.
problem is Conlan's in that same club. Is that it's all fine and well saying that the offer's laughable, but if you want to achieve greatness and if you want to achieve that world title sort of status, you've got to roll the dice. And if that means taking a pay cut for a couple of fights,
A
you,
hundred percent.
you've got to.
100.
But yeah,
I
No,
think it
I,
depends
I, I
what he
agree. I
wants, doesn't
agree
it?
massively. That just going along them sort of lines is when I fought Danny Quartermain, the first time we were on a ticket deal for that fight. Obviously for either of us it was not good, especially for him obviously being the champion. Um, and but in my mind I was thinking, you know what, the opportunity, this can bring me, it's much more. And I think it's a similar situation, isn't it, for these guys now. um
they reach that superstar sort of status though, don't they? Where they sell out the arenas and then they don't ever think. And look, you said a similar thing earlier about taking that step down, but it's
mhm.
not about taking a step down in the opposition. It's about understanding your
Yeah.
sort of commercial. Dave Allen, prime example, fights in a couple of weeks. He's been fighting for a loss in regards to his finances for years because he loves the sport, and only now against Fisher and obviously against Akhmedov coming up that it's starting to pay some form of dividends for him. But
It's a bit about having that foresight, isn't it? To know,
yeah,
like you said exactly. I think you put it perfectly well, Jack. Is that you know that even if this isn't exactly what I want, it's going to lead me to something next, and so that's what you got to bear in mind, I think. And like you say, perhaps Lee lost sight of that a little bit. Maybe that's why.
Well,
But yeah, whether that fight would happen, who knows? Who knows? But it looks most likely, doesn't it, out of what he's got there.
They're never going to make him the best off the first off the bat, though, are they? That's the thing. But, they're going to have an extra bit of money laying about Matchroom. Warrington sells tickets, so they're going to have room in budget, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Yeah, I do think that the Warrington Conlan fight probably will happen because it sells well. Obviously, he's coming off a win against me, being a Leeds lad. They'll build it as a bit of a, Josh trying to build him and getting some revenge for us. You know what I mean? But I'm interested to see what does happen with it all because it's quite tasty.
I'll ask you a more difficult question, and you can tell me to piss off and not answer if you want. But obviously, you've said about Mickey not probably going to. The chance of him moving on to world titles now at this stage are probably quite low. Your local lad, Josh Warrington, also on one final run, wanting to become a two-weight, three-time world champion. How likely?
I think he can with the right fight. The right fight for sure. I think if he was to fight Mick, I think he'd beat him. Again, I want Mick to go on and achieve bloody world honours now because like I say, it makes me look better. But I do think Josh should beat him. I felt, like I say, I felt pretty comfortable in that fight. I was up until the knockdown, which, like I've said before, it was a peach of a shot. But up until then, he wasn't really catching me with anything. He was missing quite a lot. But he landed, and that's all that matters.
All she wrote, after all, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we can't speak for those fights. Obviously, we're looking forward to hoping that you're a speedy recovery and everything goes well for you, mate, and that we see you out, like you say, sometime early next year. And yeah, really,
I think that is it. Only question I guess we can ask is we have got Sean McComb, Ben Crocker next week. I don't know if you're up to date with those two guys.
I see more of Sean McComb, but I followed GBM and I see the advertisements going out and stuff. I think I've seen a little bit of the Crocker.
Any predictions? We've got Crocker on the show tomorrow.
I think just at first thought, without looking into Crocker too much, you've got to go with a wide points McComb decision.
Where I went.
But is that what you did?
Exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good boxer, is Sean, and he was unlucky against what's his name?
Barbosa. Yeah, Barbosa Jr.
Yeah, he was really unlucky, and yeah, I can only see it going that way, but it's a good fight.
Yeah, no, we said this earlier. We did the recording earlier, and we said exactly that. Have you got anything else for Jack before we let him go and sit and watch TV and
no.
the fridge of sweets and chocolate?
I think let him get back and give him a bit of a rest now.
Jack,
I appreciate it, lads.
Yeah, as always, mate. Absolute pleasure. Speedy recovery. We'll keep in touch, and hopefully you'll get a big shot lined up. Lee and can pull his strings with Frank and the team. Get you a shot on the Queensbury card or something like that.
It'd be lovely.
Jack, pleasure, mate.
Thank you, lads.
Cheers, Jack.
See you later, mate.